Hi everyone, Chris here from Boston Jet Wash, and today I'm going to show you how to clean your patio at home using household products. Let's get going. So I'm going to run you through everything you're going to need, and today I am just going to be using my standard pressure washer. It is a Titan, it's electric. I got it from Screwfix. It's 120 quid. I don't think it's that powerful. I think it's about 120 bar. I think the flow rate's pretty low on it, maybe like 4 or 5 litres a minute, if that. But it'll be perfectly fine for what we're trying to achieve today. And we'll move on to the next bit, attachments. So this is a Titan flat surface cleaner. It came with the cheap pressure washer. All it is in the bottom is a bar that has jets on either end, and as it spins, the jets will push it all the way around. It just creates like a localized pressure area, so it helps you cut through grime quite easily, and it's a hell of a lot better than using like a nozzle or a fan jet or something like that. Now, that's the cat speeding about. Now, I don't know if you have one of these and you want to use it. You may have a detergent tank at the front. Don't bother, it's pointless. I can't think of any detergent you would ever need for a patio. It's a complete waste of time and more of a gimmick. I really can't think of any application I would ever use a flat surface cleaner that applied detergent. But yeah, flat surface cleaner, save you a bit of time. Next, I'm going to wear my big wellies, my steel toe cap wellies. Any wellies will do, but if I catch you wearing a pair of Crocs, furious. But water injection injuries are no joke. Even with small pressure washers like this, you can inject water underneath your skin, and it's really not what you want. Secondly, nice pair of gloves. These are just cheap gloves because I go through them at a rate of knots, but they have nice rubberized grips on there just to help protect my hands a little bit. Now this is where we really super clean everything. So today, the secret ingredient is just cheap bleach. This was 69p from B&M or Home Bargains or somewhere like that, but make sure it's extra thick. And the reason I say we want extra thick is because it has a surfactant in it. Now a surfactant is just a fancy word for a soap. That's all it is. You don't really want to be buying thin bleach and then adding your own soap, because if you add a soap that has ammonia in it, you create chlorine gas. I mean, these aren't strong enough. They're only about 4% active bleach, I believe. It is exactly the same as what I would use, is sodium hypochlorite, but I use mine at 15%. This is around 3 to 4. We're going to also use a watering can, just any old watering can, but make sure it's one that you either A, are going to rinse out thoroughly if you're going to use it on your garden, or B, you don't mind just binning it after. I've had this for God knows how many years. I think the cat's played with it more than I've ever used it, so I'm just going to burn through this one today. So run through wise, we are going to firstly clean everything off the patio and sweep up any leaves and debris, because that's going to make our lives easier. Pull everything off the patio, and then I'm going to run you through how I'm going to use the pressure washer. We're going to cut the edges in with the turbo nozzle, because it is just a standard patio. Concrete slabs, easy enough to do. And then we're going to switch over to the flat surface cleaner just to speed up a little bit quicker. But first, let me get rid of all this junk off there. Okay, so now I've cleaned everything off, we can really see the kind of condition that it's in, so I'll just give you a little walkthrough. So over here where the barbecue sat, you can see what the colour should be like. Should be nice and white. Now don't judge me for all these lips and how poorly the patio's laid, because I laid it, and I've never laid a patio before, and it was in the middle of lockdown, so don't judge me. Now you can see the rest of the green over here where we barely get any sun, because smart me decided to build a patio in the area where you don't get any sun. But we should be able to get all of this cleaned off, and like I said, we're going to sweep everything off first, get it all on the bin, just give ourselves a nice little area to get started. And here's Piggy, she's being a very fussy girl. Hi. Hello. What's this? You clean your teeth on it. Yeah. Okay, so I have connected my pressure washer up. I connected it to the hose first and then to the power. Now I haven't turned the power on yet, but a quick tip is when you've got your gun set up, hold the trigger to release all the built up air in the system. That way it just prolongs the life of the pump on there. You can hear all the air coming out. We're just going to let it all come out first until we get a good flow of water. So actually on mine, it is an adjustable nozzle on the end here. So essentially you can twist it, and if you can see down the end, it opens up to create a pencil jet or closes down to create a fan. I'll just show you what that looks like. But for this, we're going to be using the rotary nozzle, which is what we also call a turbo nozzle. Now a turbo nozzle looks somewhat like this. You can see down the end there's a single jet in there. Now what happens is that single jet comes out at an angle, but it also spins round, hence the name a turbo. And the easy way to tell if it's turbo, they rattle. So I'm just going to pop that one in and I'll show you what that one looks like. So now all I'm going to start doing is first actually put your wellies on, foot protection, get some gloves on, eye protection if you want. I'm pretty used to this now. I've got eye safety squints, but I would recommend using eye protection. I'm going to cut the edges in, just give myself a nice 3 or 4 inch buffer all the way around till I can move over to the flat surface cleaner. Let's get started. Right, so that's given us a nice little buffer all the way around. I'm going to swap over to the flat surface cleaner now. Now I'm going to preface, there's the word, by saying that I haven't used this before. So I don't have high hopes, but we'll see. So essentially all we're doing is setting it down and letting the machine do the work. We're going to let it run all the way along and hopefully we should see a nice clean streak. So I'm going to start at that end where it's worse. So now we're going to move over to the fan jet. We're going to set it onto the widest setting, which is, if you don't want to pull the trigger, is all the way closed. This should be the widest setting. We're going to give everything a good rinse off just to see what we need to do. Okay, so this is where we have got to. Now, you can see the sections here, just like this little bit of green algae that's still left over. It's really slippery as well. And these bits here, this is where the flat surface cleaner just did not have the minerals to be able to cut through it. Now over here, as you can see, this is all leaf staining. So it is another type of algae actually, I believe, but you can see it's slowly coming off with enough pressure, like a tiny little bit there that I've just rubbed off. But when you, in the grand scheme of things, it looks awful. So that's what we're going to get rid of with the chemical treatment. We're going to be able to remove any of these. Now, bleach does remove black spot. I can't show you any black spot because normally I keep on top of this, so I don't have any black spot on it. But if you have little black lichens, they're quite solid. This will get rid of them, but you may need 3 or 4 applications. Now, once you have got rid of them, I'll run through some bits at the end just to make sure you can keep your patio looking immaculate the whole year round. And it's very minimal effort. But for now, we're going to start off with the bleach treatment. So, like I said, extra thick bleach because it has a surfactant, which is a fancy word for soap, and that helps it sit and dwell longer. And you will need a brush as well. This is 5 litres, so we're going to put 1 litre of this into this and fill it up with water. So we're doing 1 to 4. So I'll get that started now. So we're all mixed up. Now, ideally, I would say wear some nice washing up gloves or some chemical greaves if you have them. But because it is only weak bleach and I'm pretty used to this now, I'm just going to put some of these on. But I would recommend eye protection, some good sturdy footwear and something that's waterproof, something like wellies. Make sure you're wearing clothes that you don't mind getting bleach on. I am playing a very dangerous game with my black hoodie, but I think I've got some bleach on the back somewhere anyway, so we'll just get on. So we're going to spread it all around, and then I'm going to work it in with a stiff brush to really give it time to dwell. Now remember, if you plan on using this again, make sure you wash it out because you'll kill your plants straight away. Now we can already see down here that most of those like leaf stains have dissipated already. So like it's a little bit there. You remember that big one I pointed to just here on this slab? Barely any of it left, look. Tiny little bit. So we're going to leave this now for 15-20 minutes. Ideally I'd say half an hour because it is quite weak. But my patio isn't in a bad condition. It's only been down a couple of years and I do normally keep on top of it with my professional equipment. If yours is worse, you may need to repeat this step 2 or 3 times. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. I've done the all-important things by going over again with the broom, make it a brew, standard, isn't it? And it's come up pretty nice. Let's have a little look. So obviously the bleach and soap mixture is still on there, but I'm really struggling to see any more really bad marks or anything like that. I think we've got rid of most of it. The bit that I did try and time-lapse is actually paint just out here. So yeah, we're not bringing that off with something that kills organics. So yeah, now we're just going to give it a good rinse down. Now rinsing down is key in my opinion. That makes the difference between a good cleaner and a bad cleaner. Your cleaner is only as good as your rinse down. So now we're going to switch back over to the fan jet on the pressure washer, or we can just use a standard hose. We just need to really rinse everything off. Now because there is a soap here, it's going to take a little bit longer, and you'll see that it keeps foaming up and foaming up and foaming up. Now if you don't have good drainage, because I have drainage all the way around my patio because it was the lazy way to build it, and I didn't want to cut the blocks, but don't tell anybody, you're really going to struggle on this part. This is the hardest part, is water management. Okay, so this is the finished product. It's come out really nice. There are a few little spots, they are rust. So it's when something like, I have a chimney or a burner that sits here. So this is a rust mark, that's a rust mark, and there's a really big one just over there. And this is where I had my old burner. In fact, actually no, this is a gas bottle. I think you can see the ring. So that will be up in another video when I get a chance. If you're watching this a little bit later on, I'll link it up in the top right here. There's a few more rust spots here, and I'll show you exactly how to get rid of those using a certain chemical. It isn't something you have in your house, sadly, but you may have a weaker version of it to use on your car, so we'll run through that later. So that's how to super clean your patio using household products. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments down below. If you like the video, consider hitting the like button, and if you want to see some more, I do a hell of a lot more pressure washing videos, just consider hitting the subscribe button. It's free for you and I really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.